Back to my channel, and this is chapter 35, Bring on the Night. Let's see what it brings on us. Reducing the volume, bring on the night. So, yeah. In the movies, a character always has a big, life defining event to go to: a masked ball, a wedding, a dance. Usually, the only holdup is what they should put on. They'll stare into a chest packed with the world's ugliest clothes. At the last minute, their giggly BFF swoops in with the magic credit card. That was not my experience getting ready for homecoming. No, no, you have got to be kidding me, right? I silently cursed as I held up dress after dress for Mac's approval. I didn't have time to shop for the perfect dress. Between getting grounded and cheer, you can't hit all of them. Wanna bet? She wrinkled her nose as I showed her a featureless beige dress. Take this monstrous tree, for example. Hey, less trash talk, more resistance. I don't need a third degree burn over my fashion choices. Thank you. What I need is a second opinion. Consider it the sisterly discount, two for the price of one. As years of being the literal girl next door, you have got to show Mason there's a side of you he doesn't know. She rummaged through the depths of my closet and emerged with a stunning blue dress with intricate beading along the bodice. My jaw dropped. Nothing is guaranteed to make a splash. Oh my god, this dress is really up something. Where have you been hiding? Isn't this miles better than the other one? I consider the two dresses side by side in the mirror. Okay, so here's the choice. And I also like, simple and sweet and sober. And I'm going to choose this because I don't have much of a gems left. That other one is definition of a plunging neckline. I'd rather not have to worry about wardrobe malfunctions while I'm dancing. Alright, I guess this one it is. Downstairs, the doorbell rang. I frantically smoothed out my hair as I gave myself one last once over. He's here. How's this? You look great. Go rock his world. I bounded downstairs to the living room and found Mason chatting casually with my dad. Oh my god. And everything. You did pretty well of yourself. You look beautiful, Addy. Mason held his hand out to me, and I linked my fingers with his as Dad watched the two of us together, amused. I remember when you two used to play house in the backyard, and now you're dating. He wouldn't, would he? Do you remember the time you got married? Oh, for the love of. I hid my face in my hands as Mason laughed. Yeah, we invited you guys to our reception. The cake was this massive mud pie Addy had been working on for days. For the record, I have no idea what you're talking about. That waiting was totally fake. When in doubt, deny. That doesn't sound like me. Are you sure that wasn't Mac? I'm pretty sure, Addy. She wasn't even walking yet. This trip down memory lane has been great, but can we go now, please? Sure, have fun, you two. Mason's palm touched the small of my back as he guided me towards the door. The warmth of his hand radiated through my dress and into my skin. His touch had a way of calming me. Mason seemed to realize that, and his thumb rubbed smoothing circles in my back as he shook my father's hand. Thanks, Dr. Price. We will. Okay. My face didn't stop burning until we were safely under the cover of Eastbridge deck out gymnasium. Okay, so here's a party. As the music blared over the sound system, I motioned for Mason to come closer before putting my lips to his ears. I'm so sorry. I can't believe my dad did that. He knows me forever. I had been more surprised if he didn't trot out of a few embarrassing stories. The bass line thumped in our chests, and Mason took my hand and spun me around the dance floor, the tension night evaporating into thin night air. Dizzy and swinging on my feet, I melted into his arms as he dipped me low, his lips a breath away. Tonight is just about you and me. Deal. Fair enough, it is our first proper date. Here's hoping to its first of many. He lifted me back to my feet, and I pulled back to look into his eyes. He was the boy who had left a mark on my heart, the teenager who had do anything for me. As he stared into my eyes, I thought maybe, just maybe, I might even be able to see the man I could spend forever with. My heart beat faster, and he pulled me close. His touch, the same gentle caresses it had always been. I should kiss Mason. I brushed my lips across his freshly shaven cheek, starting a clear path to his lips. His lips met mine, and a warmth spread all the way to my toes. This is what I wanted. How could I ever want anything else? But this? Excuse me. I knew that voice. It was gravely masculine and bold, an undercurrent of danger, like a wall scroll. Even over the cacophony of school approved R&B laughter and the low roar of mindless chatter, there was no mistaking it. I turned to find No, handsomely dressed for the occasion. Shoot. Oh, but he looks good. My eyes wandered up the muscle of his chest, the stumble on his jawline, his longing to be released from its cage. And somewhere in those sorry for the dogs barking. This is chapter 35 for you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.